Hi, this is Randy Cooper with Atlanta Food Critic. I'm here at Pickles, or is that Phickles?
Phickles.
It's Phickles with Angie Tillman in Athens. Hi Angie, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, we've known each other for a number of years and we have never met in person. It's finally good to meet you.
We're cyber friends, and now we're real friends.
That's right. Hey, so I messed up the name. How did you come up with the name Phickles?
Well, first of all, my husband didn't want me being on Facebook back in 2008 when everybody was getting on Facebook. And he was out of town on a hunting trip, and I got all these invites to join Facebook. And we were having a really hard financial time, but we had these great pickles, and I thought, well, maybe I could use Facebook to market them. And maybe he won't be mad at me if I put his name in it somehow. So I took his name, Phun, starts with a PH, and formed Phickles out of it. That's where it came from.
So what was the first time that you realized that something like this was in your future?
Oh gosh, my husband made the pickles for years, and then he taught me how to make them every Christmas after we got married. We've been married 18 years now, so we've been doing this for a long time. And just financial times, you know. Hugh Atchison one day told me that the pickles were good. He loved our pickled green tomatoes, and he's like, put a label on them, they'll sell. And so it was always in the back of my mind, like maybe one day we'd do this on the side just for fun. I was a housewife at the time. But then when the financial troubles happened, my husband was a builder in 2008. So when the market crashed, we crashed. I just thought, this is it. You know, this is the time to put a label on something. And I used my little laptop and my printer and formed little labels and stuck them on pickle jars, and that was it. When people started really buying them off of my porch, it was like, gosh, you know, it's really going to work maybe. People really want them, and gosh, now 5-6 years later, it hasn't stopped. It's just growing.
So what did your family and friends think about when you told them about your idea?
Well, my family got really excited about it. My mother was all into it, and so did my husband's family. They all were great about it. But the interesting thing is sometimes your friends just don't get it. You know, it's like, what are you doing? And then especially when people started calling me the fickle chickle, you know, they kind of like, what are you doing? And like, what is that? And then no support for a little while. And it's just kind of funny how it took friends, sometimes my closest friends, a little longer to realize, like, this is for real. Like, he's not building houses anymore. We're making pickles. This is it. You know, this is for real. People ask all the time, like, what do you really do? What is your real job? Like, we really make pickles. That's what we do. And that's what we're going to keep doing. But yeah, so now they're all on board.
Of course, right?
They are. But and they all like it, and they're all huge supporters. But in the beginning, it was like you had to just kind of talk them into the idea. Like,
That's
this
awesome.
is really going to work. I'm not crazy, you know. And a lot of them weren't on Twitter, and probably still aren't, or you know, barely on Facebook, and so they didn't really see what was really going on with it. All they knew was what I was saying at happy hour, you know. So now it's become real to them. You know, we're just on Food Network. So anyway,
How about that?
they're all back being friends again.
Cool. Hey, so Angie, you have a broad and growing product line. What is the most difficult thing that you prepare?
I'll say it's two things. On the pickle side, our beans are really hard. Beans come in from different farmers, and every farmer grows a different bean, it seems like, and so they're never the same. And we have to blanch them, you have to trim them, none of them are the same, and some of them are tougher than others, so they really get on my nerves. On the cheese spread part of things, the hot mess is a lot harder than the pimento cheese, because we actually have to make all the pickled jalapenos, take them up to where the cheese spreads are made, and you know, we're doing this in glass jars, we don't have big buckets or anything. So, and just making sure that we make enough pickled jalapenos. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're looking into distribution right now, and they're asking us how many cases a week can we make. We have no clue. I mean, I think we'd have to set aside a day or two just to make pickled jalapenos for the one, you know, this thing, the hot mess. So if that's scaring me to death, but so I'd say that's probably the most difficult thing.
Well, that sounds like a great problem to have.
It's a good problem, I think. But they're asking me to handle it. I just don't know how to do that.
You'll figure it out. So Angie, you mentioned your husband Finn and your children. How does a working business owner such as yourself find work-life balance? Because I know as a business owner that, geez, it's tough. How do you do it?
It is very tough. And a lot of what I've done is sort of make a reality show out of it. Not so much these days as I used to be back when I first started tweeting. But I used to tweet like every 30 minutes. I'd say, this is what I'm doing now. This is what I'm doing now. And I'm pickling okra. And now we're delivering to, Nona restaurant. Or whatever we were doing. And now it's like I can't keep up with all that anymore. There's so much going on. You're pulled everywhere. My phone's always beeping. There's always a delivery that somebody's wanting in South Georgia, but there's also somebody wanting it in North Carolina. And my husband and I do all of our own deliveries. So to all the stores in the Southeast, we load up all the orders and carry them ourselves. So what we'll do is when, say, somebody in Chapel Hill orders, then we'll call all the stores on the way from Athens to Chapel Hill and say, do y'all need anything? Because we're coming through. And then half the time, this just happened actually this week, we'll go all the way and then one of those stores will get with us after we're back home. I need, whatever it is. And so now we're on Facebook asking friends, are anybody headed to Charlotte? Because they didn't get back with us, That's another good problem to have. So we do need distribution. But, and then balancing we have 3 kids. And a lot of times they're eating what we cooked here, for lunches. So I'm just bringing it home. It didn't sell. And so they're just like, yeah, we saw that on Instagram the day we figured we'd be having it for supper. So, because they're all on it. They're all on all the Instagram and everything. So, but just trying to balance all that. A lot of times, it's hey, mom and dad have to go do this talk at the Georgia Theater rooftop, to a bunch of foodies and share our product and try to get it out there in front of all these new students that just came to town. And are y'all going to be okay for a little while? And luckily, they've grown up in it. It's been since 2008, so they've grown up in this crazy, unbalanced life. It's very unbalanced. But at the end of the day, we love to cook, we love to eat, and so there's always that at our house. We're always cooking. My husband's always grilling. We're always centered around either a TV tray or the table together. So that's where I find my balance, I guess. It's meeting there and prayer time at night.
Awesome.
So that's the biggest thing for me is laying down with the kids at night and finally finding out what really happened that day.
The truth will come out, right?
Right.
So Angie, somebody that wants to get into the business, do they have an idea kind of like yours, not as necessarily the same as yours, but what's the best advice you can give somebody?
I'm probably the worst person to ask for advice because we try to keep Phickles small and everybody else tells us that they would do it differently. They would be big, really big already. And I'd say, you'd be really big already in the Dollar General. But we don't want to be in the Dollar General. We don't want to be in Walmart. We want people to have to find our product. And so that this little mom and pop stores that are carrying Phickles are proud to carry Phickles. And they know that you're not going to find them down the street at the Dollar General store. So that's staying true to what we said in the beginning. With the cheese spreads, it's a different story, kind of letting those go wherever they end up. Hopefully they'll end up everywhere. But my biggest advice, I guess, is for me, I always base things on my faith. I always have to get centered every morning. So I wake up every morning, I do my devotion, renew my mind, no matter what crazy things happen the day before, it's a new day, clean slate. And just remembering where your assets come from, because none of this is really about me, about my husband, about my kids, or any of it. It's about what we can, hopefully when people look at us, they see oh, God did that, So, and I think that anybody remembering that is going to succeed, whatever you think success is. I just think it's this. So I can sleep with myself.